The screen seems to be a little small on my end, at least the font does. I'm having trouble seeing it.
How about now?
A little better. And I've got my screen maximized. I don't know if maybe there is. Let me see.
Can make it a little bit bigger. Is that better?
Looks good on. Oh, too big on my screen.
It's too big on your screen?
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Okay. Is that good, Stephen?
Well.
Okay, so let me just give you a kind of an overview of what Advanced MD is. The way to think about this is, imagine that it's a clinic. Any kind of clinic that you can imagine that is providing health services, a dentist office, a Med Express, a behavioral health center. When you walk in the door at any clinic, you have basically two components or functions that are happening in every clinic or hospital that you've ever been in. You have a front office where you are greeted and you tell the person your name or your birth date, and then they pull up your record and they ask you about your insurance and has anything changed, address, and all that kind of stuff. What they're doing is they are continually updating your demographics and your file to make sure that nothing has changed and that the services that you're going to provide, that they're going to provide, that they're going to get reimbursed for. So we call that the front office or the practice manager. So in our system, this is what our practice manager screen looks like. And you can tell that it's the practice manager. If you look over here on the top left, it says PM. So this is, you can sign in when you sign in to Advanced MD. In fact, let me go ahead and just back all the way out so you can watch me sign in. So when you go to advancedmd.com, and make a note of this, you need to use Internet Explorer or you need to use Google Chrome. You can't use Firefox or any of the other, weird browsers. You need to use Internet Explorer, not Internet Edge, but Internet Explorer or Google Chrome. And to get into the system, you go to advancedmd.com and you go to the login, and this is the login screen. Everybody's login will be their first initial and their last name. It automatically defaults to caps, so you don't have to worry about that. You'll enter your password. The first time that you ever sign in, your password is password1 with a lowercase p. So PASSWORD and the number 1. And then we all share the same office key because we're all entering the same clinic. Our office key is 139450. I can log in to two different places. I can come in the front door and look at things like patient entering and insurance eligibility and billing and all that kind of stuff, or I can come in the back door, which is where all the services take place. You guys are 9 times out of 10 or 90 times out of 100 going to need to be coming in the back door because you're providing the service. There's not a whole lot that you need to be doing on the practice management side. If you want to check a patient's insurance eligibility, then you can do it here. But fortunately for you guys, we have case managers who do all that upfront work for you. When a referral comes in, it will go to a case manager, and the case manager will enter the client-patient demographics and verify insurance for you. They will notify you that your client is ready to be seen for an intake. That means that the insurance is valid, it's all checked out, the information is in the system. All you need to do at that point is schedule the client for an intake. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Advanced MD has been doing some upgrades on their system. If you get this message here, just hit snooze. It's just an informational thing that they're providing to people as they log in. It's only been popping up for the last week. And so now I'm in the EHR system. I'm in the back room where the services take place. And what you will see are all the people who are on your schedule for today. So I can see everybody's schedule today. You won't be able to see anybody but only the people that are on your own schedule. And you know it's today because it says 1/15/2019. I can look to see who's on the schedule tomorrow. Here's all the people scheduled for services tomorrow, the next day, etc., etc. Now, let's say that your case manager has contacted you and said, you're ready to see your new client. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to put them on your schedule. So you go to the home page and you go down to Scheduler. And it's taking a minute to load. And what you will see is one column. It should just be your column. I can see everybody's column. But this is what you will see is just one column for yourself. And this is where you put your patients on your schedule. I can look at this on a day view. If you see up here in the middle, sort of the right middle of your screen, I can go to week view. So I can schedule on a weekly basis. And I can also go to a month view. When I set you guys up in your scheduler, you should only be able to see yourself, your own column, and maybe your case manager if you have a case manager in your area. Everybody with me so far? Okay.
Yep.
Now, it's super, super, super easy to schedule somebody. I'm going to use Mike Yeager's column because he is your supervisor and he doesn't usually have appointments. He's just working with you guys sort of on the fly. In order to schedule somebody, you just go down to the time that you want to schedule the appointment for and you double click on the time and this box pops up. The first thing that I want to do is I need to enter in the patient that I'm going to schedule. For practice purposes, we have created Disney characters for you to use and practice with. So we have like Daffy Duck, Goofy Dog, Mickey Mouse. I don't know, there's some other ones in there, but you can use the same ones, it doesn't matter. So all I do is type in the last name and the client will pop up here and I just click on the client. Now, when you're scheduling somebody, you have to know what kind of appointment you're scheduling them for. There's primarily 4 different things that you're going to be doing with a client. You're going to be doing your initial intake, you're going to be doing your treatment plan, you're going to be doing your individual counseling session, and you might be doing some targeted case management or behavior management or something like that. But there aren't a whole bunch of types of reasons that you're going to be seeing a client. You're either going to be seeing them for an assessment, you're going to be seeing them for a treatment plan, or you're going to be seeing them for some kind of service component delivery. So we've got the client in. Now I need to decide what kind of appointment this is for. And we're going to do our initial appointment. Initial is this one. You'll notice that all of the appointment types, which are designated by the first names, the first letters. So we have psychological screening, psychological evaluation, initial appointments, individual counseling is IC, group counseling is GRP, crisis intervention is crisis, case management is CM, and behavior management is BEH. You'll notice that each one of these types of appointments have two different modifiers. They're in the community or they're in the office. It's real important that you make the correct selection, whether if you're seeing the client in the office, then you need to indicate that it's the OFF. If you're in the community, then it's COMM. Community means every place except the office. So that means the home, the school, the library, the probation office, wherever you're seeing this. If it's not in our office, then it's in the community. And that's important because we get paid differently for each one of these two different types of settings. Obviously, we get paid more for the community services, and you get paid more for the community services. So this is an initial assessment for Daffy Duck. So I'm going to go down to initial, and we're doing it in the community, and I just double click on the appointment type, and it flies over into the right column. Go ahead. You're kind of, I'm sorry, say that again. You're kind of breaking up. Yeah, your audio is not good at all. I can't even see who's. Can you type your question in the chat box?
Oh, sure. Let's see.
Well, now I can hear you fine.
Hey, Damon, I had a quick question.
Yep, go ahead.
So who completes the psych evals?
Our psychologist, Scott Spalding.
Okay, so those after the initial intake?
Well, you don't always have to have a psych eval. Your initial assessment is going to provide the diagnosis that we need to initiate services. The only reason that you would want a psych eval is if you feel like some of the symptoms are more severe than we're capturing in the assessment by a non-physician, and then you would make a referral for a psych eval. Otherwise, the assessment that you do at your initial intake is sufficient to render a diagnosis.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Leslie, did you have a question? Okay, so moving on. So there's not a whole lot more that you have to do in this field when you're scheduling the appointment. You've got your patient name, you've got your appointment type. You can, make comments and instructions if you want to remind yourself. These things will show up when you actually go to see the client. You'll notice that the duration time defaults to a certain time frame. In this case, it's 120 minutes. This is just a standard procedure. Everything's sort of defaults to its own settings based on the information that would that would come in here. So Leslie's question is, what would supportive counseling fall under here? What you would do, Leslie, is you would consider that you've got two different kinds of counseling. You've got group and you've got individual. You would put yours under the appointment type would be individual counseling if you're doing individual supportive counseling, or if you're doing in the community, or if you're doing group counseling, you would do group. So it would be the same. Individual supportive or individual professional, you would use these types. Group supportive or group individual or group supportive, you would use these. All right, so we've got everything good. So now we're just going to hit save. And you'll see that Daffy Duck is now on Mike's schedule. Now in the scheduler, all you're doing is you're putting people on in your book. Okay, you can't really do much else. If I hover over this, I can see you know, some of the kinds of stuff. I can edit it. We don't do any copays, so that's not important. I can check a patient in. I can check a patient out. I can indicate that the patient didn't show up. I can go to the patient's chart. I can move the appointment to another time. And I can copy the appointment. Say, for instance, if I want to see this client at the same time every week, I can just copy the appointment and schedule them for ever many weeks I want to see them. So let's say that it's Sunday night and I've done all my scheduling for the week and I'm done scheduling. So I close my scheduler out. I've taken care of that task. And today rolls around. I wake up, it's Monday morning, and I look at all my appointments for the day, and I find Daffy Duck on my schedule because I scheduled him the night before with all of my other clients. And here's Daffy Duck. Now let's move forward in time a little bit. It's today, I've eaten lunch, 2 o'clock rolls around, it's time to see Daffy Duck. Notice I'm in my dashboard. See up here in the top left. I'm not in my scheduler. This is not my scheduler. This is my dashboard. And this is where I do all my work from. So I'm in my dashboard. 2 o'clock rolls around. Daffy Duck shows up. I'm going to go ahead and check him in. And then all I have to do is double click on Daffy's appointment. Daffy's in the room with me. Like I'm either at his house or we're at the school. I've got my tablet or my laptop or my phone. I've pulled up my app. Daffy is sitting in the room with me. And the cool thing about this is it pulls up the documentation that you need. Okay, I'm Mike Yeager because that's who I put the provider under. I'm doing an assessment. You'll see these 4 tabs here in the middle: assessment, mental status exam, and the confirmed diagnosis. All 3 of these things are part of the initial assessment that have to be part of the definition of this service. I'm going to put down who needs to sign this note. 2 people always have to sign the mental health assessment. Those 2 people are you, the person providing the assessment, and always Mike Yeager, the person reviewing the assessment. So you always have to put Mike on here, and you always have to put yourself on here. Okay? I assume everybody's taking notes. Now, I can look at everything else. There's not really, this is going to go in the notes folder for this client. I've got the date down. I can put some comments in here if I want to. It's not really necessary. And then all I have to do is start my assessment. So I go to my assessment tool. And since we've done assessments for Daffy Duck in the past, the old information from the previous assessments will be there. But obviously, if this is a new client, all of these fields are going to be blank. And you're just going to go through with the client this assessment form and fill out all of the information on the form. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about this assessment form right now because my hope is just to get through the very basics today and maybe get 1 or 2 people to practice this. So anyway, the assessment this is the assessment by a non-physician that me and Mike and Scott came up with. This is really good information, and it's sufficient information to provide symptoms and understand what's going on with the client to the degree that we're able to provide a diagnosis. So maybe it takes us an hour and a half or 2 hours with the client to go through this with them. And now we're almost done. So the next thing that has to happen is we have to be able to file this assessment, and we have to be able to bill for the service. And that's really easy to do. So probably what you're going to do is you're going to fill out the information, you're going to take it home, or maybe the client, you're going to say, all right, thank you, it was nice to see you. And then you're going to sit and spend some more time on this thing. And you're going to look at your information, and you're going to pull out your DSM or your ICD-9, and you're going to look at all the symptoms, and you're going to try and figure out, you know, what is the diagnosis, or what do I think the diagnosis is? Mike is going to confirm it. Mike is going to look at everything and sort of make sure that it's fine. And so you don't have to worry about getting it wrong, because Mike is going to read it, and he's either going to confirm what you've decided, or he's going to tell you to change the diagnosis based on the information that he is reading in your assessment. Once we get to the point where we kind of know what the diagnosis is and we're ready to bill for the service and move on to the next phase of this person's treatment, we're ready to fill out this charge slip area. We have to have two things on a charge slip. We have to have a service code, and we have to have a diagnosis. In order to find our diagnosis, you go to the ICD finder. And that's this blue underscored element right here. And all I have to do is click on that, and you'll see that it pulls up a new window, the ICD selector, and they make it really, really easy for us to find the diagnosis. Let's say that I believe that Daffy Duck has conduct disorder. All I have to do is type in that search field, conduct disorder, and it will pull up all of the codes related to conduct disorder in the ICD-9. So, and if you know what it is, let's say that Daffy Duck has conduct disorder, adolescent onset, then that's what I'm going to look like. Or that's what I'm going to look for. Oh, here we go. Conduct disorder, adolescent onset type. So I click on that, and you'll see that the diagnosis has gone up into the charge slip box. Now I need to find the service that I rendered. And the service codes are found is your CPT code. So in order to do that, I have to go to the CPT finder. I'm going to search by CPT, and you guys will eventually memorize all of this stuff. And for an assessment, you're going to do H0031, hit search, and these are the only H0031s available to us. There are three different types. There's H0031 with no modifier. There's H0031AJ. AJ is for the psychologist to use. You guys aren't going to be using AJ. And then there's H0031GT, and that means that you did the assessment via telehealth. So you might have done it either H0031 or you might have done it H0031GT, depending on whether you did it in person or you did it via telehealth. 99 out of 100 times, you're probably going to do it in person, so you just click on that, and it's fallen into the charge slip form. Both of those things are correct to me, so I'm going to copy them up into the primary bar. That all looks right for me. And now all I need to do is save this. Now once it's saved, it's going to go to Mike for review. So it's not been signed yet. That means it's not locked. I can still make changes. Even though I've saved it, I can go in here and make some changes. Okay, because it hasn't been signed. So saving the form allows you to just come back to it later and continue to work on it. Once you sign it, though, it's locked. Any questions so far? I know this all seems like it's a lot of information, and that's why it usually takes about 2 weeks or 4 or 5 sessions with me before you've got it down.
This might be a dumb question, Damon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you said once you sign it, where that part, the signature part, how does that happen?
To sign it, I just go up here in the middle. It says sign off on item. So you've got save, cancel, review, sign.
Okay, I see now. Thanks.
Yep. So we've scheduled the appointment. We've opened the note. We've completed the note. We've put in the information that we need for a charge slip. Dang it. We've saved it. Now the only thing left is for you to get paid. You want to get paid for the time that you did the service. So in order to get paid for it, we have to be able to bill it to the insurance company. So that means we have to link in our billing clerk to this service in order for it to show up on your provider roster so that it can go to payroll and we can bill it. We link in the billing slip. So you go to add link, which is right here in the middle of your screen. You can go down to charge slip pre-filled. Just click on it. Oh yeah, that's right. I made some changes. So I need to save it again. It'll always warn you if you've made changes. It'll tell you that you've made changes and you need to save it. I go down to charge slip pre-filled. Hit charge slip. And if you look over to the very far right of your screen, you might have to hide your go-to meeting box or shrink it down, because usually that go-to meeting box that we're using to speak to each other right now is usually on the right side of your screen in a vertical fashion, and it's sometimes covering up this part of the screen. But can you guys all see the charge slip summary to the very far right of your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So
how do you get rid of it?
Pardon?
When you said you had to, I missed the beginning part. You said you had to move the charge slip.
No. I was just telling you, if you can't see it, if you can't see this line that I'm referring to that says charge slip summary, it's probably because your go-to meeting box is covering it up. But,
all right, got it.
So what I want to do is I want to look at my charge slip summary and make sure that I've got the correct CPT code, which is the H0031 mental health assessment by a non-physician. I want to make sure that I don't have any bad modifiers. And I want to make sure that the units are correct. And for this particular CPT code, it's billed per event, meaning it's not billed by 15-minute increments or by an hour. It's just basically one event. So if it takes me 5 hours to do this, it's going to be 1 unit. If it takes me a half an hour to do it, it's going to be 1 unit. It's a per event unit. And then I want to make sure that I have a diagnosis in here, and I want to make sure that it's the right one. So conduct disorder, adolescent onset type. This all looks good. All I have to do at this point is sign it, which is basically just scrolling over sign. And your sign-off password is always just going to be your first and last initial. So for me, it would be DC. For Stephen, it'll be SP. For Jennifer, it'll be JV. Brittany, it'll be BR. I'm not going to sign this because it actually will send a claim to our billing clerk, and I don't want to bog her down. So that's basically it. Your form is complete. Your assessment is done. It's gone to Mike for review. You have billed it. You're going to get paid for it. It's filed, and you're done. There's no more paperwork to do with regard to this visit. Okay? Who wants to practice it? I can either Stephen or Jennifer. I can make you the presenter. Whoever's got.
I'm not sure. I'm really taking it all in. I'd like to see someone else go through it first.
Who was that? Jennifer?
Yeah.
How about Brittany? Brittany, do you want to try it?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I have one question though.
Uh-huh.
I just have one question. So once we sign off on everything and then it's sent to the clerk, how long will we know before the physician reviews the assessment to make sure that our diagnosis is correct?
He'll get back to you within probably I'd say 2 days.
And that's all like via email?
That's going to be a message. So like if I go back to my dashboard,
Okay.
what you'll see is you've got a message from Mike Yeager. Now these are all assessments that Mike has reviewed and he's got questions about, and they'll appear in your dashboard for you to review.
So will he confirm if it's correct and send a message too, or just only if it's wrong?
Probably only if it's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Only if you need to make some changes. That's when you'll get a message from him.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Brittany, I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay. Let me get my notes out.
And you should have just got a request to share your screen.
Okay. Share.
All right, perfect. And so what you need to do is just log into AdvancedMD. So go to advancedmd.com.
Okay. Let me just put down this meeting window. Okay.
And you are E. Rutledge. You know what? I spelled your name wrong in the thing, so put 2 T's in for now. I'll go back and change it later. Put 2
Okay.
T's in. Then your password is lowercase password 1.
And then what? 139450.
Yeah, and you're going to do the EHR. Very good. Log in. Go ahead and just skip that for now.
Is there a skip?
Oh no, you definitely have to change your password. Go ahead and change your password.
So this will be my real password, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, don't forget your old password is password 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now, is this my home base?
Yeah, use your home base. No, it'll be your last name.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Then it's at home base. And it's .org, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Just confirm that later.
Awesome.
And confirm that all later.
I don't think it gives me that option.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay, I'll just try to hurry. At least I'll have this part done.
Yeah, that's true. And snooze that.
Sure you want. Yes. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Zion, do not do that. Don't you do that. Okay. Do I need to enter my password again, or am I in there?
Oh, you're good. You're in your dashboard. So go ahead and make your dashboard screen bigger so that you can get to your home screen and all that kind of stuff.
Where do I do that? Over here?
Yeah, you've got your desktop is divided, so you need to be able to see your you need to be able to make the right screen larger.
How do I do that?
Just cancel, X out the other screen, or drag it to the side or something.
Yeah, this is my husband's computer. I don't even know how to.
If your computer has a tablet mode as well as regular laptop mode, turn the tablet mode off, and that might help.
I don't even know how to do.
There you go. Just pull that over. There you go.
Awesome.
All right. So now you're going to put Goofy Dog on your schedule for 2 o'clock today.
Okay.
Yep. Case managers called you and said you need to see Goofy at 2.
Home scheduler, add patient. So how do I? Okay.
All right. So that's the wrong county. So you need to go to Marion County. Up there where it says Kanawha. See where it says Kanawha above Stephen Perry? Go to
Sorry.
Marion.
Okay.
There's your column over on the right.
Right.
Bitler
Okay.
is your case manager. So let's schedule Goofy for 2 o'clock.
All right. So we are going to do his last name.
That's
Is that right?
Yep, and this is going to be a treatment plan.
Treatment plan and the community.
Okay.
Okay. And then that's if I want to add whatever note.
Mm-hmm.
So then I can go ahead and save it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let me see. So now, I can click on it.
So remember, you're in your scheduler right now. You don't see your page.
I need a dashboard.
Correct.
Okay.
So there he is.
Click on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the assessment tab and mental, I think, will pop up.
This is good. This is a treatment plan, so it's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be your.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know what? I didn't open your. Okay, so do this. I forgot to. I need to adjust your user settings a little bit so that it works just like mine. So what happened is it just pulled up the appointment. It didn't pull up your note, and I'll fix that. I need to go in and fix that. So you can still get to your note, the type of note that you want. Go see where it says under where it says insurance in the middle of your screen.
I do not.
Further up, higher.
I see. Higher than this?
No, in the very middle it says insurance.
Why don't? Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay, now go down a little bit, and you'll see a note board, a prescription pad, a test tube.
Right.
Yep, go to the note. Click on the new patient note.
Okay.
And you can do this like if like case managers sometimes have to do this because they're doing stuff on the fly and they're not really on their schedule. Now in info, for treatment plan, you need 2 signers. You need you and Scott Spalding. So put Scott Spalding in there because he's the psychologist that has to sign off on your treatment plan. And then you should be able to find Good. And now under template type, scroll down on template type, click on that, and do home_base. And now under template, go to treatment plan next to, yep. Good. And now you see you've changed it, and if you look up at the tabs, you've got info, note, subnote.
Yes.
Go to note.
Oh, Jesus, this is the hard part.
Now, here's the cool thing about this, everybody. When you do your assessment and you put the diagnosis and all that kind of stuff in here, that will automatically populate this. So all of the information that is in the chart can be found on here. So go ahead and look for the ICD code that we need for Daffy Duck. Go down to the chart. Go down to where it says from the chart. So there's that conduct disorder adolescent onset type that I saved from the assessment. So it's already there. And now you need to put in your CPT code.
Okay. Thanks, that out. Oh.
Yep.
So also we have to type this part in. So it would be the H0031.
Well, actually, treatment planning is H0032.
Okay.
So go to search.
Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, awesome.
Their mental health service plans. Now, your AH is always, that's going to be for the psychologist, and AHGT is psychologist via telehealth. So he'll do that. So go ahead and do the H0032. Good. It's up there. Now you need to copy those into the primary bar.
Right. And then.
And now save.
Now, see right here where I typed that in. Do I need to take that off?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
In fact, you can close that window out if you want to.
Like X?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then save.
Yep.
So now I need to, I need to, okay, you got it.
Let's just take a look at the treatment plan. So go into the treatment plan and scroll down so everybody can kind of get an idea what this treatment plan looks like. So
I don't know how.
just go over into the form and start scrolling down into the note. Yeah, right there. Just start scrolling down.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk about more about how to treatment plan. Scott Spalding will be getting with each of you to go over how this is set up and what needs to be in these fields, the objectives and measurable stuff and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted everybody to see it.
So how many, like, will we just do one long-term goal and then several objectives, or like 2 or 3 objectives to meet that long-term goal?
Whatever the needs are for the client, that's going to be up to you as the therapist.
Because we want it to be obtainable, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be different for everybody. And then you'll see there are case management goals. If you have the targeted case management form filled out, you can do that.
So does the counselor create those goals for the case manager?
If you have a case manager, they should be providing you with the goals that they're going to work on.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll up. So you've saved this, you've got it all filled out, and it looks great. And now you need to get paid for it, and we need to send it to billing.
Oh, okay. This is home. Okay, wait. Home base. Took notes. Pre-fill charge slip for the right screen. Make sure the CP. Oh wait, it's not even showing up over here.
Yeah, I'm not. I think it might be because I don't. Go ahead, do add link again. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's making you do it manually. Your user isn't set up entirely correctly yet. I need to do some more work on you as a user. But go ahead and click on that charge slip. This just lets you do it manually.
Okay.
And so see, it's the procedure code is your CPT code, so you know what that is. H0032. So you just type that in to that procedure code. See, and then it just defaults to exactly what you need. And then now you've got your diagnosis code down there.
Where's that one? Oh, right here.
Yep, type in conduct disorder. Or you can choose from chart. There it is. Adolescent onset type. It was at the very top.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now see, it's filled all that stuff over. You just basically did what the autofill does. You just did it manually. And that's still totally fine. That totally works. And now all you need to do is sign it.
Okay. And okay, wait, so what does the position thing mean? Or the POS and the charge slip? I know the units is how long it takes, like it's billed per unit, but what was the POS?
POS basically is the most of the MCOs want to know where these things took place. We default to 11 with
Okay.
community, so that's fine. Now notice here's something else that you need to be aware of. Your units defaulted to 3. That's a 15-minute unit for this service code. If it took you an hour to do this, you want to get paid for an hour. So you would want to change that units to 4.
So will I have to manually change that, or will it automatically?
No, the system that will not know how much time you've spent with a client. It automatically defaults to sort of normal time frames. You know, I mean, usually your treatment plan is going to take about 45 minutes. It'll default to 4 units for your counseling sessions because that's an hour. But you definitely want to make sure that you are adjusting looking at that charge slip summary and making sure that you're putting the right number of units in based on the time that you've spent with the client.
Okay.
So so you spent an hour on the service plan, so now all you need to do is sign it. And you would just type in BR, but don't do that because it'll send it. And that's basically it. Brittany, you did really, really good. Have you worked on an EHR system before?
No, thank you though. But it's because you were like assisting me.
Well, yeah, but you were kind of ahead of me. So that's awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
And we are out of time. If anybody has any questions that I can answer really fast, I've got another meeting at 11, so I'm running behind. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask me right away?
Yeah, no, not right away, but can we ask questions another time?
So this is going to be the exact same training tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So maybe they'll get answered.
Yep.
Okay. So now how do we leave? We just sign out?
Yeah, I'll set you up, Jennifer. Brittany, everybody can kind of get in here this evening and practice and look around and just sort of see what's going on with the system. And then tomorrow, we're just going to do this training again. And I'll probably have people practice instead of me walking everyone through it at first. We're just going to have you guys start one at a time, just start practicing and watching.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.